Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Shadow Library documents in the Cindered Shadows DLC pack. I'm going to go over when you can unlock it, where to find the quest, and break down each document one by one. Like basically all of my videos, this video is going to contain major story spoilers, so if you don't want to hear it, go ahead and play the game. Also, make sure you give this video a like and hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Now, let's jump right in. On to the next document, Encyclopedia of Photons Insects. This book's title does not match its contents, suggesting a false cover. It seems to be a catalog of some kind. Distance viewer, based on glasses. By combining glasses lenses, one can view great distances with enhanced clarity. Crafting such a tool was forbidden by decree of the Archbishop for the following reasons. 1. The ease of locating enemy camps would escalate wartime violence. 2. It would be too easy to snipe from afar. 3. It would lessen the mystery of the goddess who watches from above. Flammable black water. A sticky black liquid was discovered in northern Fargus. It burns fiercely and emits a highly toxic gas. The use of this wicked substance was forbidden by decree of the Archbishop for the following reasons. 1. Misuse could result in accidental death. 2. It could be used tactically by those lacking magical ability. 3. Competition for it could cause strife. Metal mold printing machine. Though initially lauded as a practical replacement for woodblock printing, after careful consideration, the Archbishop deemed it taboo for many reasons, particularly the following. 1. Risk of mass circulation of misinformation and malevolent rumors. 2. It is useless to illiterate commoners. 3. Risk of intensifying disparity between church branches. Human autopsies, especially involving head or chest incisions. Such actions upon a corpse are considered desecration of the dead. Since white magic can be used to a similar end, autopsies were deemed taboo. A notable cardinal asserted that if medical science were to excel over faith-based white magic, it would destabilize the foundation of the church. So basically, this document describes some technology that existed before Rhea clamped down on the technology throughout the world. The sticky black liquid they're talking about obviously is oil. These rules were enacted to control the region and put out the chaotic, violent fire within mankind. This document is important because it makes you wonder just how advanced they were, but we'll get to that in another video. Romance of the world's perdition. In the land of Thinis, where the old gods are said to live, the false god has awakened. Its looming, heteromorphic vessel was resurrected to sink the world into the depths of the ocean. It will bring extinction to all the children of men, and salvation to all the beasts of the land, sky, and sea. For the children of men who spilled too much of the blood of life, it promises only cruel retribution. The false god must be defeated before the world sinks into a watery grave. To this end, the children of men have erected pillars of light upon the land. Thinis, Malum, Septon, and Ilium were utterly destroyed. Those lands have vanished from the world. Yet even still, the false god stands, and soon a flood aptly named despair will drown this world. The children of men fled to the depths of the earth, beyond the sight of the false god, beyond the embrace of the sacred sun, and beyond the reach of the waters of despair. They swore a fervent oath of revenge against the surface world, ruled by beasts, and against their tormentor, the false god. Okay, this document was clearly written by the Agarthans, which is pretty cool just by itself. It describes the beginning of Shambhala, the new Fodlan, and the birth of those who slither in the dark. The title basically means the author loves the fact that the world is falling into eternal judgment. At first I thought they meant the judgment Sothis brought upon the people of Agartha, but really what the title describes is the judgment of all the people living above by those who slither in the dark. Since Sothis' judgment was never permanent, and those who slither in the dark's is, The heteromorphic vessel they mentioned describes Sothis. The Agarthans admit to being judged for spilling too much blood and then going to war with the goddess using pillars of light. The regions that they mentioned were most likely Nabatean cities that were destroyed by the javelins of light in an attempt to kill Sothis. For this they incurred her wrath, which is the flood that they mentioned. The document also says that it will take revenge against the surface world, ruled by beasts, the remaining Nabateans, and Sothis. Oh, by the way, the document also called the land Thinis, which is an undiscovered Egyptian capital city from way back in the day, and that also raises some fat questions about Fodlan. The truth of the hero's relics. I, a priest of the findings of my investigation, when a crest stone was removed while its relic was being wielded by all movement within the relic ceased. When the stone was returned, the relic once again, it is beyond question that the crest stones supply their associated relic with power of some kind, and the impetus of said power is clearly related to the crests that certain humans possess. Based on the composition of, it can be surmised that, likely a massive creature akin to a waver. However, strength is beyond compare to that of waver bones. They are more durable than all the materials other than crucible steel, making them ideal for crafting weaponry, and absolutely inhabiting difficult to conceive. But one theory, is it possible that the goddesses have potentially? Heroes' relics have been found that are not linked to the 10 elites. The 10 elites, could it be that others were gifted this power by the goddess as well? Perhaps the disturbing that the relics were not gifts from the goddess. Additionally, the same crest stones. Many of my hypotheses. I am desperate to find the truth of it all. The time has come. I must discard. I dare say the goddess would not wish for me to learn more than I already have. The pages are old and worn, so most of the text is illegible. So what this basically describes is an unnamed priest finding out the truth of the relics and crest stones, but y'all already know that. He also found some that weren't related to the 10 elites at all, which was probably the work of those who slid in the dark. I think the devs just put this in there for people that might not have figured it out yet. Who knows? Next up, fragments of a forgotten memoir. Blank 15, ALL Forest. It has been several months since King Nemesis was defeated and the tides of war have turned from bad to worse. I've received news that my friend Daphne has fallen as well. Those zealots are after our heads, and those of our leaders. All that is left is for us to disappear into the muddy waters Saros has created. My long life may soon come to an end. Blank 2, Itha Plains. I somehow escape with my life, but I fear the end is near. Most of my clan has already surrendered to the Empire. To my surprise, I am told their safety was guaranteed. I, however, am a different matter. My life, along with my sacred weapon, will unquestionably be forfeit. My dear son and daughter, I hope you can forgive me one day. Blank 5 blank. Why does Saros despise us so? What did King Nemesis do to incur such an unyielding wrath? Perhaps it was a mistake to accept his offer. In any case, that is all in the distant past now. And before this body falls to ash, the evil. The paper is so tattered, the rest is illegible. Okay. So this document might seem a bit confusing at first, but I believe it describes one of the 10 elites that escaped Rhea's hunt. So who could that have been? Well, I believe the person that's writing this is Maurice. The path of his escape starts in the ALL Forest, and the author mentions that he's close friends with Daphne. This leads me to believe that whoever it was part of the Alliance. So what makes it Maurice? Well, I can get into the fact that he only mentions one weapon, which narrows it down a bit. But what is more striking is the last statement. This was obviously written a long time after the hunt was started and around the same time of Maurice's transformation into the beast. This is all in the distant past now, and before this body falls to ash, the evil. So whoever it was clearly escaped, and then something happened. Mysteries of the Calendar Volume 2. Much time has passed since the Imperial Calendar was adopted. In the prior calendar, the year began with what we now call the Guardian Moon and ended with the Ethereal Moon. Back then, the 12 lunar phases were exclusively referred to as months. They came to be known as moons with our current calendar system. Though the prior names of the months are lost, it is known that the Guardian Moon was often shortened to number 1. Pegasus Moon to number 2, and so on until Ethereal Moon, the 12th and final month. Though inelegant, this is a practical system that apparently served the people of the time well. There is no way of knowing when the old calendar was created. Any attempt to trace its origins leads only to the era of the gods and more unanswered questions. All we know for certain is that the calendar has existed for nearly an incomprehensible length of time. To change a civilization's calendar would inevitably cause great confusion and unrest. Why then did Emperor Wilhelm, the first leader of Adrestia, choose to abandon the original calendar in favor of the imperial calendar? Historians have identified several possible reasons for such a drastic measure. 1. The influence of the Church of Saros. The names of the imperial calendar's moons and the associated lore behind them are intimately related to the tenets and saints of the Church of Saros. It is highly probable that basing new calendar on the teachings of Saros was Emperor Wilhelm's attempt to spread those beliefs on a much wider scale and help legitimize the church. If this is the case, it is further proof that the Adrestian Empire had close ties to the Church of Saros from the moment of its inception. Alternatively, it has been posited that the goddess herself wished to change the calendar and voiced this desire through the prophet Saros. This would mean that Emperor Wilhelm simply implemented the change rather than originating it. 2. Asserting authority. Calendars represent the flow of time, and so creating a new one is akin to claiming dominion over time itself. Shortly after its founding, the empire used its influence to establish a new calendar and retroactively proclaim its founding year as Year 1. Amid the unification of Fodlan, this move increased imperial authority and heralded the start of a new era. Okay, first you're going to have to get past the fact that Rhea and Wilhelm changed the calendar in order to spread the influence of the church in the region. You might realize that the calendar they used to have resembles our own Gregorian calendar. This, I believe, is the most interesting fact of the passage, which again begs the question, how advanced was the civilization before the war with Sothis? What were the devs trying to tell us by adding all this? Everything they put into the game had a reason behind it, and I believe the story is a lot more wild than people think it is. To sum up this passage, it looks like Rhea wanted the calendar changed in order to push the influence of the Church of Saros. Wilhelm simply obliged. The fact that this starts a new era is truly an important claim in the game. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps provide some context to the documents in the Shadow Library. I also hope this helps you think about the overall big picture of the game and what the lore actually means. So tell me what you guys think. How advanced do you think the world was before the war with Sothis? Whose fault was it that the world was changed in the way that it was? If you guys have any questions or anything to add, let me know down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, give this video a like, and as always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more dope content. Peace out, everyone.